Hello, everyone! So, as we mentioned in our favorite holiday movies, when we came to Christmas Carol as some of our favorite holiday movies, we decided that there would be an extra rant about Christmas Carol because there's so
lots to talk
many
about.
of them.
Yes.
We're going to unpack it,
Good,
unload
bad,
it all
ugly,
right here.
all
Exactly.
Yes.
This is the Christmas Carol Extravaganza.
Love it.
Do you like that?
Love it.
Is it a good title for it?
Love
Okay,
it.
I'll put that in there. So I quickly Googled.
I did a little Googling myself
I
because
did.
there's a swath
There are
of material.
a lot of them since 1935. I've counted, or what Google said. Just leave it at that. Who knows if it's verified? Because you can't believe everything on the internet these days.
Of course
That's
not.
just yeah.
Yes, yes.
So there have been 135 versions of Christmas Carol.
I think I see the ghost of Christmas past up
Oh
here.
yeah. The ghost of Christmas Past is
Yay.
appearing to us at last.
Yes.
We've been waiting for her.
Mm.
Yeah, as cheerful as she might be.
I-
So, how do you want to begin? Way
I
back?
will begin. I will begin. And I'll
Begin.
start right where you started,
Excellent.
1935. So, Seymour Hicks.
Yes.
Scrooge.
Yes.
A couple cool things about this one. There was many silent Christmas carols before this. This
Yep.
was the first talking.
I was reading
Yeah.
that too. The
I
first
mean-
one, 1935.
Didn't mean to steal your thunder
No,
there.
no, don't steal it.
But I have seen this one. It is probably in my top 6,
Okay.
we'll say. Obviously, it's 1935. Some of the production values low.
But for that time, was like, whoa. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I thought the acting was great.
Mm-hmm.
Another cool tidbit, and talking about the production value, they didn't even attempt to do the Marley Ghost. It's
Oh.
just a voice.
It's too much at that time.
They just couldn't quite get there, I don't think. So when I first saw it, I was
Right.
taken aback. I was kind of like, that's odd.
Yeah, I do remember watching that. I'm like, oh yeah, it was a voice. Like,
But then
where-
doing some research, it makes sense. So they didn't
Right.
want to do a really bad version of it, so they just did his voice, which I thought was
So I think perhaps they remedied that 3 years later with a version with is it I can't say his
Reginald.
name. Reginald Owen.
my favorite version.
And if you hold that picture up,
Absolutely.
there's a very good
Yep.
Marley Ghost right there.
Yes. Yep.
So perhaps
Simple, I think.
Right,
But,
3 years later they kind of figured out how
yeah.
to make him look transparenty and
And actually, yeah, for 1938, that's
that looks
great.
really good. I
Yep.
love his hat too. Scrooge's hat is very good in that one. So
Well, yeah.
I've heard that was it's a very good. You want to see a classic one?
Yep.
Kid approved.
Yep.
1938 version is a good one.
Yeah, Reginald Owen's great. Another little tidbit about this one that I was reading about was Reginald was really known for his comedy.
Oh yes.
Which is interesting.
Okay.
So
yep.
when
I
they
did hear
first
that.
heard that he was cast, people were like, not sure. But there is actually moments of humor within this.
There is.
Which is cool. This is my
Butter
go-to.
on potato.
Exactly. This is my go-to version, I think. And again, it's tough because they're all so
Hey,
good.
38. it sounds like one I need to rewatch this year.
I would
Enjoy. So-
highly recommend rewatching
Yeah, I
that
guess we didn't really describe at the beginning of this that you and I really enjoy Christmas Carol.
Yes.
It's a timeless tale, and it's a story of this Scroogey old man becoming a kinder soul.
Yes.
Which could happen to any of us, and
It's
we should
a
all be kind.
timeless story.
Yes.
And if those out there in viewing land haven't done so, and if you have about a week or so, read the original.
Yes. If you have a week, you can't do it in one sitting.
It's
Trust
not
me.
a one sitting. We
Someone has
attempted
tried that before.
Yes.
It's long. It's long, but
yes.
the book is great because
Look, it is.
you have it.
I have it.
Did your wife give it to you? Is that correct?
She gave it to me as a Christmas present.
There we go.
Yes. Yep. So I try
Cherished.
I try to read segments of it.
They're
Like you said,
staves.
I don't. Yeah. Thank you. I don't sit down and try to read the whole thing. I'm like, oh, let me examine this part of the story.
I believe there are like 7 staves in the
I
book.
believe you're right, and they're lengthy.
Length.
staves as
Yes,
well.
they are.
So yes.
Not like a chapter these days. Anyway, sorry.
right, so we
I
have the
wanted to
19
let people
yep.
know that we are big fans come this time of year for
Absolutely.
Christmas Carol.
Yep.
So
So I'm gonna keep rolling
Go it.
because I think that my next favorite
I'm going
one.
to cross off ones we discussed here, so I
Sure.
don't go backwards here. Keep going.
My next favorite one, oddly enough, is the next one on my pile, but it's the Alistair Sim one.
Oh yes, 51.
51.
That one here. Cross that
So this, my information, and I would agree with this, basically says that this is generally accepted as the definitive version
Okay.
of A Christmas Carol.
Great.
Nothing sticks out for me on this one
Right.
besides just everybody played their role perfectly.
Right.
Like it
Okay.
was just a very well done,
Did they
high quality
compare
production.
Alistair Sims to Reginald Owen from 38? Who was a better Scrooge?
Yeah, they didn't.
Because this man is from
I
comedy.
think we just heard from the ghost of Christmas Bulb. That's very interesting. Hopefully we don't have any more come down on this. But anyway,
Okay. Don't move.
I think generally, I think Alistair Sim is also acknowledged as probably the best Scrooge
Yes, I've
as
heard
well.
that. Yep.
Just so.
I mean, you really can't go wrong with any of these because either you're watching a
there's
recent
some
one.
later we can go wrong
True,
with.
okay,
But
you're
yes,
right,
early on these.
You're watching classics that are really great for the time, 38, 35, 51. Or, there are some ones more recent that have gone a little... Ooh.
And what's fun for me, anyway, watching these older versions, look to see the differences. How
Sure.
did they interpret the Ghost of Christmas Past? You know, what we often see, an angel, or we see sometimes it's a man actually. Sometimes it's this. It's
Very angelic character.
Yeah. So how does the director, how the writer interpret these characters and portray them on film is kind of a very cool thing.
Absolutely. Good take on that one.
So, all right, I guess I'll keep going.
Keep
then.
going.
Yeah. So this one I have actually never seen. So I'm excited about
which
this
one's this one?
It's with Basil Rathbone.
Oh, I haven't seen
And it's
this
actually called The Stingiest Man in Town.
Oh, okay.
This is apparently a made-for-TV musical, which rarely surfaces.
56, it looks like.
56, yeah.
Stingiest Man in Town, 1956.
So it says, if you can find this one, check out Rathbone's equally Scroogey. Oh, this is another one. So I guess Rathbone plays another interesting character called.
So he was in this one too? No, sorry.
No, We're No Angels.
Okay.
From 1955. It's also a Christmas set comedy.
Oh,
which sounds
interesting.
interesting.
Okay.
So
I didn't have that one on my list.
I have never seen this one,
Yeah.
so it's
Nope.
quite intriguing to me. It looks good just from the picture we have here.
Here, I'll hold it up for the audience here.
Sure.
See, we're using our Cliff Notes here. So this is 56 musical.
Yeah, check this one out. Again, something that I've never seen,
And the reason I'm holding them up is because we discovered while filming the Halloween, if we put any pictures or video segments of these up, you don't get to see it because they're copywritten, so we don't have that. So we're cheating a bit here. So, but it's an incentive for people at home, another ghost, to just go watch.
Yeah, check them out.
Don't take our word for it.
So that kind of concludes my older movies.
Those are good ones.
So we can maybe move into to newer ones.
I see one that looks.
This is interesting. So I figure you get the serious and then you get the comedic. So
there's
Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, 1962.
He's a classic character. I think
absolutely.
Magoo would be a great Scrooge.
So again, personally,
Can't see
haven't
anything.
seen this one, but
I haven't seen it
something
either.
that I
Nope.
might check out this holiday season. Mr. Magoo. Who doesn't like Mr. Magoo, right?
He is a classic.
So should I just keep going? here?
Please, yeah. I mean, I've got a list here. I'm gonna
Yours are a little newer, maybe?
No,
or?
I'm going to chime in when you get to them because it
Okay.
looks like you have all of them here. This run I just saw. Yep.
Yep, this is an interesting one. So Albert Finney plays Scrooge from 1970.
1970, yep.
What's really cool about this one is it follows him from a young man when he was actually generous and happy to be alive.
Different take, yes.
Yeah, and then it follows him up until becoming Scrooge.
And he's one of the few characters who you get to see him play the young and the old character.
Right.
He's the same person.
Yeah, good
He's
point.
a little more younger than the typical kind of older gentleman from the earlier movies.
Yep.
So he gets dolled up to be older, it looks like.
So again, it's another variation
Yep.
of really following Scrooge from youth to actually older man. So that is a cool one.
Yep.
As well. So
Oh, nothing on the back of that paper? Oh, we did Mr. Magoo.
yep, we did Mr.
Sorry.
Magoo.
We did.
So now I'm going to get into maybe some lesser done versions.
Sure.
I have seen this one.
Oh, I have not.
I would agree that it's not in my top 30, maybe.
There are 135 of them, so.
So it's someone who you wouldn't think would be portraying Scrooge, and that is Henry Winkler. So the Fonz,
The Fonz.
Walter Fonzarelli, for those out there.
Yep.
They tried to put an American, and so it's called an American Christmas Carol. So they tried to cast an American actor as opposed to a lot of these are British actors.
Kind of like Scrooged.
Yeah,
Something like that.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, I know we will. I know we will. I'm sure
But
we
yeah,
will.
so it's probably worth a viewing. I don't think it's going to be anybody's favorite out there. Yeah, so we'll just skip it.
Yeah.
You'll like this one.
Oh no! This one, I love this one because
I'll let you talk about this one then.
great, because we love to call you this around the office when we want to get a new camera or something, and you say, well, maybe not this year because he's Scrooge McDuck.
Yes.
Scrooge McDuck from 1983, a classic Disney.
Yep. So that's Mickey's A Christmas Carol.
Yes. Obviously, Goofy's in it. Everyone's in it. It's
Goofy's actually the door knocker
he's
there.
the door knocker.
Yeah.
Good. Hold that up because it's a great one.
That is a good one.
That is a good one to watch.
Yep. I highly recommend that one.
Scrooge McDuck.
And you know me, I'm not
Yeah,
big
cross that
on a
one
lot of the Disney animation versions and the Muppets. I think they're good, but this one I do recommend.
Yes.
We're gonna roll right into this one, which is another classic, another good one. George C. Scott,
Yes.
Christmas Carol, 1984.
Very well done.
Yep.
I think the production value of this one is very well done, and George C. Scott does a great performance.
Agreed, and this was a made-for-TV version.
Yes.
Which is kind of amazing to me,
Yep.
because we all know how those made-for-TV movies can go
But
sometimes.
British
but
made-for-TV movies
that's true.
are
you
top
are,
notch.
You are
Really nice.
You are correct.
Yeah, from Christmas Vacation there, Eddie.
Yep. So if you haven't seen that one, highly recommend. And then, as we just talked about, Scrooged.
Yeah, and I don't watch this one that often.
So it's
Bill
an
Murray's
interesting
great, but,
take.
yeah.
I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. It's not in my top 5. I keep
No,
saying
no,
this,
no.
but again, if you haven't seen it, it's well worth a watch. It's a modern day take
Sure.
on it. I think some of the interpretations of the ghosts were interesting.
Yes, like a taxi cab driver is one
Yep,
of them, right?
yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
Other than
and
that, I forget.
Yeah, and like the ghost of, I forget which ghost it is now. One of them, I think it's just like a giant hand,
Oh.
which is kind of interesting.
Interesting.
But anyway, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's worth a viewing.
Yeah, we should say anyone who's watching these, please leave your favorites
Yes.
in the comments below. Why you like them? What,
Go ahead and let you
Slide
talk
this
about
over
this
here.
one
All
here,
right,
'cause
this one's
I
near
know-
and dear to my heart.
I know it's a favorite.
I love you
so-
found these. These are great. This is a great little thing you found here. A whole list of them.
Yes. Yes.
So this one I got on my list here, and it's a classic. If you love Christmas Carol, but you love the Muppets too, right? So it's of course the Muppet Christmas Carol from 1992. Michael Caine.
I think he
is
pulls
in
it together.
Oh,
Honestly, I mean, the
holds it
Muppets are
together,
great, but
we've got Gonzo's the host with the rat. They're the kind of narrator.
That's
He's
right. Yes.
no, who's he playing this? Oh, he's Charles Dickens. Duh, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, there goes Mr. Humbug.
The
There
rat,
goes
yes.
Mr. Scrooge. Yeah, there's great moments in this. As you said, funny.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
just-
also serious. Like,
funny,
they do
serious.
tell the tale, which is...
Yes, and what I
you know?
love about Muppets is they adapt it so well to tell the tale fairly well.
Yeah.
With the Muppets, they have to be humorous for the kids, but also the adults can enjoy it
Correct
too.
me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
I almost... what sticks out in my mind about that is
Mm-hmm.
they almost do... Don't they do that? Kind of like sweeping over...
They do.
Over the city?
So that is a sweep over a miniature London.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the great thing about this is 1982.
Yep.
They made this
Built
whole
it,
little
right.
village.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about these
That sticks out,
older
yeah.
movies is the production quality is
Yep.
fairly decent in this one. So yes, slide
Great.
that back to you.
Yes,
Cross
yes.
that off my list.
Yep, that's a great
Where is
one.
that there. Oh, there it is. Up the top.
This one I've never seen.
Okay.
I
can
think we
touch
might
this
just mention it quickly.
Sure.
It's Susan Lucci, and it's
Oh, I don't know
called
this one. Nope.
Ebby, I
Nope,
guess.
yep.
I'll just read it.
Oh, so it's a female
Scrooge is
version.
a ruthless career woman. Subgenre begins here, and Lucci is one of the best at playing the heartless climber faced with learning some hard lessons at Christmas time.
Oh.
Her performance as a cold-hearted department store magnate is one of TV's most strongest assets. So interesting. So another modern-day tale,
Yeah.
casting a woman in,
I'm
in that role as well,
Fine with that.
which is kind of
you
interesting.
Certainly do that.
Yeah, I might check that out.
All right.
I might check that
I
out.
like it. I like it.
This is another one which I haven't seen,
Yeah, I was looking up some of these, and some of these I really have not seen.
and I'm loving again that they're casting females in this lead.
Absolutely.
Is it Cicely?
Cicely Tyson? I would say so, yeah.
Mrs. Scrooge from 1997. So
Miss.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Miss.
Yep.
Yes, Miss.
Mrs. Scrooge would not be married, I don't think.
You are correct.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yeah. That unfortunate person. Okay.
So, takes on the role of a cruel moneylender, Ebenezer.
Oh,
Scrooge.
I like it. Getting creative.
So yeah, I like it. So again, haven't seen it.
Nope. 1997.
Yep.
Just give you these years so folks at home can. Oh yes.
Oh, yeah. Then we go right on to another classic.
Yep.
And that's a classic pose right
Oh,
there. I remember,
it
this
is.
is what I remember when I
Yes.
think about it. So none other than Sir Patrick Stewart, Christmas Carol, 1999.
Just before the turn of the century.
Another made-for-cable film.
But again, British
Well done.
ones are well done.
Well done.
Well done. Not saying the U.S. ones aren't well done. You just gotta have the right budget and people behind it. So.
Agreed. Yeah.
But yeah, Patrick Stewart.
So again,
yeah.
I think this is an iconic image of this. I think it's either on the DVD or I've seen this
he's got
image
his
before.
hat on.
Yep.
His big.
Yep.
hat
So.
And doing that. But what I love about Sir Patrick Stewart is he's played the roles on stage.
Right.
And then he played it on the TV movie show.
Yep.
And he is a really talented actor with putting all of these older English words and really understanding how to enunciate them and say them properly. And so you get a real treat with him saying the original Dickens text in that version.
Yeah, it's almost like when Dickens wrote it.
Yeah.
He envisioned,
Oh,
if he
yes.
could have envisioned something like
Sure,
movies
Patrick
and such,
Stewart.
but yeah, just
Right.
he fulfills the role perfectly.
Absolutely. Yep.
A couple other ones quickly because I don't have a lot of interest
I don't
in
know
them,
this
but
one.
Vanessa Williams plays a Diva's Christmas Carol from 2000. So people who like pop music and maybe like Vanessa Williams, that might
Sure.
be something to check out. Who knows about this one?
Sure.
Tori Spelling
Okay.
does a Carol Christmas.
Oh, okay.
2003.
She's surprisingly effective as a host of a tacky daytime talk show and gets knocked down a peg and visits from ghosts played by William Shatner.
William Shatner.
Okay.
And Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it's got some heavy hitters in it.
Well, again, modern take on a classic. So this one here.
Oh, okay. That's the one I've got. A Christmas Carol musical from 2004.
Yeah.
I did not know he starred in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Probably not his best.
I think this is one of those ones where it looks the part,
Right.
it sounds the part,
Right.
but it's not the part, unfortunately.
Right.
I didn't see it, so
I haven't seen it
I
either.
can't speak to it, but they're kind of saying that, with... well, let me read it.
Just read
This
it.
made-for-TV production must have looked good on paper between Grammer's... I can't even say that word. Mellifluous?
Mellifluous.
Hambonery.
Yeah.
To a talented sporting cast, Jane Kroskowski, Jason Alexander, Seinfeld, Jesse L. Martin,
Okay.
and original songs by Alan Menken and Lynn Ahrens. But it never coalesces, and neither does Grammer's performance.
2004, Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
So, Frasier is what he's most well known for. I
Yeah,
assume.
and it might be one of those things like Sharknado,
X-Men, yeah.
where it's so
Oh,
bad, it's
yes.
just good to watch. But, if you had maybe a couple too many eggnogs and you're up late at night and
there
it
you
happens
go.
to come on the tube, you check it out. So probably my
This is yours.
this is this and my favorite retelling of the story.
Yes.
Jim Carrey's Disney's A Christmas Carol. I will say that this critique is kind of funny, and we mentioned our ex-coworker Beck earlier,
Yes.
so she would really love this.
Okay, good.
So I'm going to make up for our comments from our last show, and get into good graces of her.
I will say quickly, it's 2009.
Yep.
I remember going to see this in the movie theater.
Yes.
I can't believe that this
I
movie
know.
is already
Makes you feel
12
old, doesn't
years
it?
old. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So, go ahead.
This is for you, Beck. The rubbery faces and dead eyes of director Robert Zemeckis' motion capture characters don't help matters. But Carrey overreacts as broadly here as he did playing another iconic holiday villain in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I personally don't agree with that. I think that it's well done. I think the animation holds up.
I agree.
You know, this and the Polar Express do suffer from a little bit of the dead eye in terms of animation.
I'd say Polar Express more. There's 5 years later with this one, but yeah, I agree.
It's in my top. It may be my top, so I think it's well worth.
Oh yes, especially kid approved, Disney approved.
Absolutely.
The Disney overlords would love us saying that.
And they do expand upon the story a little
Right.
bit more than some of these other ones, which I liked. So highly recommend by me.
And that Jim Carrey plays not just Scrooge, but he plays the ghosts as well.
Yes, he does.
He motion captures a lot of the characters in this remake. So.
Yep. Well done.
I enjoyed it seeing it at the theater. I thought it was very creative.
Agreed.
So.
Yep, love it. Oh, this is
when he's small.
yeah.
Mrs. Duba, you're fired. You're fired, Mrs. Duba.
Great. And again, great way to work in some comedy in there as well.
Because you know Jim Carrey.
Yes, exactly. So this is.
Oh, you've got. What?
Oh, no, I'm going to save that for the last.
Okay.
This is just a quick honorable mention,
sure.
I guess. Haven't seen it, but it goes with the different takes. Maybe other people might enjoy these genres as opposed to these.
Got it.
But it's.
I do not know this one.
It's called It's Christmas, Carol.
Oh!
From 2012. So it seems like sort of a more romantic kind of comedy.
Looks like it based on the picture.
So, yeah. I'm just kind of reading here. Another TV movie, made-for-TV movie. So...
2012.
Interesting. So this says, actually, the late, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher plays Marley. Which is kind of interesting. So that might be enough for me to check it out.
Might be, yeah, exactly.
I mean, there it is. Yeah. So, my last one, my second to last one, is, you mentioned this on our past show.
And that, I looked it up and I said, that's his name.
Yep, Christopher Plummer. The Man Who Invented Christmas, 2017.
Yep. On the list right there.
It basically tells the story of how Mr. Dickens came up with the whole premise of A Christmas Carol. And again, you had mentioned it in our past Christmas show, and I keep plugging it because I want people to go watch that too.
Sure, yes.
It really encapsulates, that is when Christmas really kind of became Christmas of what we know it today.
Yes.
You know, back then it was a lot different. There wasn't Christmas trees. I mean, gift giving was there, but it wasn't as prominent. So a lot of the traditions that we come to celebrate now kind of stem from this book and his thoughts of well done, great production.
Oh, it is. And now that I was like, Christopher Plummer. I couldn't remember his name in the other piece, but yes.
Now we got it. Yeah.
I think you actually told me about this one.
I did. Yep.
And I watched it, and it was just great cast, and it's like you said, a unique way of how he comes up with the characters and naming of them. And all the while, he's trying to get this successful hit and taking out loans for this new book. And he's redoing his
other
house and
authors.
all these things. And
all these struggles
around him. You get to see a little into Charles Dickens' life.
Yes.
And it's a very great movie. I have it on Amazon Prime. I don't know. I'm sure it's available at other places.
Yeah, check your streaming services.
But very good movie to kind of maybe even start.
Yes.
And then you can watch all your Christmas carols you love. But you have one more thing you want to mention? Because I have one more thing.
I wonder if it's the same thing.
I want maybe the same thing.
I think it's the same thing.
Okay.
Let me just...
1, 2... Okay. Go ahead.
Wait, okay. So, no, I'm going to go for it.
No. You want to finish
I'm done.
You're done?
I'm wrapping a bow up on this. Only thing I was going to say is, even if you don't like A Christmas Carol or Dickens, you would enjoy this movie. It's just a well-done movie that sits outside of the story itself. You don't need to like the story or know the story. It's a good standalone movie.
And like I said, I'll do one more thing on this. How he comes up with the words, our famous word of that, humbug.
Yes.
How does he come up? It all comes that way. So
It didn't come easily.
No. So, it's a really great movie. So, okay. 1, 2, 3.
Dickensian.
Okay.
How do we know?
How do we know? Wow,
we
are.
We didn't plan this.
No, I wrote it down actually because I was like, I gotta mention this.
Yeah.
You saw it before me.
I did.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yep. So it's a
season.
2 seasons. It's a BBC production.
Well done.
Well done. So it's basically with a world within the inside the world of the Dickens whole
Charles Dickens novels.
Yes, everything. So some characters from this book, some characters from this book, some characters
Oliver
from
Twist,
this book,
David
all
Copperfield,
thrown into the same
Christmas
environment, and have their own tales to tell.
Forget what the book is about the woman that inherits the brewery. I forget her name. Anyway, yeah. So I'm sure people know about that one out there.
Probably more people who are more literate than us. Probably.
Exactly.
Yes. But yes, check that out. It's a wonderful series.
It really
which is nice. I didn't expect to like it so much where I was binge watching
it. I was really disappointed that no one loved as much as we did to continue it along, because it kind of leaves, you could still keep going, although they did kind of, as we say,
they summed up
with a nice little bow if that was the end of the series, but certainly someone could continue it.
Yes. Something that, sits outside this genre. I don't, people know of all these movies, but they might not know of that series.
So to entice people to watch it, I'll just say it this way. The premise is, and we know this in Christmas Carol, is Marley is dead to begin with. Because if you can't believe that, nothing coming will ever be... As a doornail.
Yes.
If you don't believe that, then nothing of that story will come to fruition and make you believe. So the story of Dickensian is someone has been murdered, and that person is Jacob Marley. And this is the story of what happens.
So you get a nice whodunit.
Whodunit.
And all these intersecting...
all of the characters live in this little London, and they kind of all interact with each other. So it's very well done. Kudos to whoever thought of it and put it together. So.
And if there's any TV execs watching out there, because I know there's a lot in the 5 towns we serve.
Yes.
We're making a strong push to get that going again.
Yes.
I think
you could sign our petition.
And a lot of the actors that are in that, it's not that old. Where a lot of these actors are still acting.
It's I think it's 2018 or 19. It's very recent.
Yep. So well done. And maybe a little bit before that. Well,
give me the phone. Take a quick, give me a second here.
I'm gonna guess 14. That's what I'm thinking. 2014-ish.
You are right.
Am I?
2015.
Okay, so I was close. Yeah. So again, 5-6 years old. Not.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. It's just one series. It looks like.
Oh, one season.
One season. Excuse me. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
15 came out right after Christmas in 2015 and went through February of 2016.
Okay.
And so it takes place in the Christmas season of time. Some really great characters in it. It's like I said, it's a very great show. So.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap on our
Christmas Carol rant.
Less of a rant, I think. More of a...
just going through everything, I think. Yeah. We say rant, that's not a bad word.
No,
that's just for us just saying, we want to just expound upon this. And if people at home actually want to watch us, that's great.
Yes.
And hopefully it turns you to want to watch Christmas carols that you like or new ones that you didn't hear of before.
Yep.
And start a new tradition in your house of watching something during the holiday season. So.
And like you've been saying, if you watch this show and you'd like to chime in with some comments, what are your favorite adaptations or versions of this?
Yep.
We'd love to hear them because I know there's more out there.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen them all, and we're going to try to.
Let's go one step further. If people watching want to comment and say if they had a wish list of who they would like to see play Scrooge or any character in Marley or whoever, and if you're like, oh, that person would be great.
I like that.
So
great.
Anyway,
chime in.
Yeah, chime in. And in the meantime, happy holidays, right?
Oh, Fezziwig!
Alive and well again! Oh, Fezziwig, bless his soul.
Happy holidays, all!
Happy holidays.